Okay, so we are about to start. I'm just checking all it's working. I'm still getting used to the naming features and all this stuff. So yeah, okay, well, start the stream. Transition. I'm still checking the every social media message has been sent because I'm usually not. Oh, okay. I think the only one that failed is the one from Facebook. Yeah, that's okay. Okay, let's keep it that way. I don't care. So, yesterday I was working with this Dante Alighieri model. Um, pretty much finished this gilded crown on top of his head, and this hat, which I still am a bit confused on how it is. Um, and I still want to modify it a bit because um, it is more like a old-timey um, sleeping hat with an extension on top, uh, goat type hat, like Papa's Morph. And I want to make this a bit um, bigger. That it looks like a pack. Um, but I was thinking maybe I should use the move tool for this. Um, just like creating a bulge. Because in a way it looks flat without doing that. But I wanted this like go on top. This, I don't know if it's going to work the way I want. Whoop, wrong color. I don't know. Just a bit. I mean, there should be a fold here, I think. After this, I think that well, I would like to add wrinkles into Dante's garment, but I'm not too excited to do that right now. So what I was thinking is to work on this piece. I wanted to create the um, gates of hell. Um, they actually have an inscription. Um, let me try to remember which was the description. Abandon all fate. G who enter here, I think it's pronounced. C G. It's an old English phrase, so I'm not entirely familiar with it. Abandon all hope. So yeah, I think it looks better. It looks more like a baggy stuff, not entirely flat. Cool, add still a bit more. Yeah, I think it looks better. More roundish. The head it was not created in Oculus Medium. It was created in Blender last year. Um, I I've had this head on my files for for a year entirely. It was created in January, I think, last year. Uh, so this idea of creating a divine comedy um, piece has always been there for a while. Oh, that's not from this layer. From this layer. this garment from Dante. It differs a bit from some of the pieces that I have here. That they have big long sleeves. For Virgil, I will make them that big, but for Dante, I think it's better to keep them a bit tight. Virgil has like long Roman toga, so it will break its design if I do something different, or at least the concept of Roman garment. And in some pieces, Virgil is without his head covered, like here. But I actually want to cover his head with part of his garment. I think this one is the more what I'm looking for. I think I don't have more pieces. Um, but Virgil. Mm, hmm. Okay, let me check that because I know I have memory. I'm using 15 gigabytes. Maybe the problem is that I have a lot of um tabs open.
Who's that?
So I'm going to close a bunch. Okay, let's try this again. Increase the resolution from the clothing, but let me check. Okay, I'm quite tight. Maybe it's that. Okay, I'll do yes, but it may crops the model. So I have to undo my changes. And all this because we want to add a couple of buttons. This is unnecessary. Shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't. As you can see here, his shoulder is smaller. Now there it is. which pretty tight. And just because buttons, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Just because I wanted to add a couple of buttons into his shirt. Oh boy. I don't know if, if it's worth. Model is gonna probably be quite heavy because of this. But I could decrease. Let's take a look. I mean, it's not like I'm eating my RAM. It's using 15 gigabytes. I'm using the half, and not all is being used in medium. Boy. Whoop. Yeah, I know I've lost detail, but maybe this is unnecessary. Just a couple of buttons. I can do that later with a normal map. You know, shouldn't be doing this. It's a waste of detail. Yeah. And talking about detail, I don't know if I want to add details to the clothing right now. Um, Color seems off. Huh. I don't like it. Cool, just like trying to do this. like not much. I should say that I think they should be done in reverse, like removing maybe, or actually like that, and maybe those wrinkles um be part of the animation in on Blender, all the physics and that stuff. I'll think about it, maybe do it later. But for now, I wanted to create um, the gates of hell, and for that, I will create a copy of this zine because I don't want it to remove the whole um, image references. So this one might turn a bit heavy, so I'll try to control myself about layers. Let me just verify that I have, yeah, Dante and Gates of Hell. Okay, so, whoa, which one am I? Okay, so I'm going to remove these layers. And um, going to remove this is the original head. The reference head has more detail than the one imported. So layer one, like that, and start to work with lower resolution and with a cave. I've been thinking about this because there is a sculpture I almost forgot the names of all the sculptures and cool things. There is a sculpture he created a piece, call it the Gates of Hell. I know it's inspired by Dante Alighieri's works, and it's quite impressive. It has um, bodies and a lot of infernal imagery sculpted into these gates. I know it goes a bit off from the works of Gustave Doré, but man, if I had time, I would do that. Sure, I would. So I was thinking into doing something like that, mm, but it's too detailed, way too detailed. So um, no, maybe this. The thing with the cube is sometimes it gets too heavy. Wrong color. So white. Okay. So I think I'm gonna try to mimic as much as I can piece. Um, cool thing about the works of Dore is that it's so much based on nature. Um, I know if you have seen the game called Dante's Inferno, based on also the works of by Dante Alighieri, and the whole design changes a lot. Because it's more in our times concepts like cities and demons and technology changes in the game. But Gustave Dorés is like walking outside. It's like going to the mountain, going to uh, a place. There are trees, there are animals. The weirdest stuff, of course, are the the hell references, but it's all very human based. Um, Demons, angels have wings, but not in a over the top way. Um, so I like about that about Dore that if you go outside, you might get lost and find hell. Is a scary thought. Good. So let's try to copy this. Working right now with a very low resolution. This is the basic resolution. There was a guy from the Oculus um, Spotlight. I think that's the way they call him. They invite um, a known sculptor, someone with experience, not like me, and they mention tips. One of those guys, and again I forgot his name. Um, he mentioned that he starts with a very low resolution. After he mentioned that, oh, before he mentioned that, um, I was working with a 3 level resolution from the beginning. Um, but I think he's right. I think you should start with the lowest resolution. Um, I spend most blocking. Um, um, Forget about small details at first, and then you add um, all the detail you need, and that by increasing the resolution. And that way, only the I guess that's how medium works. Um, Inside, only the new stuff will have the most detail. If you smooth a low resolution piece after you increase the resolution, it will increase the poly count. That's how I see it. I'm not sure. I'm not one of the developers. I cannot be entirely sure, but um, I think that's what it happened. So, just so you guys have an idea. Um, I'm sculpting this quite small right now, but um, what I'm doing with the, or the plan with this sculpt is to um, use it to create an animation short. So I am actually building the stage for part of the short. So this, of course, will be huge with more detail. And I will step over here with Dante and Virgil and act um, their parts. Use with motion capture and try to do my best into interpretation. Yesterday I was sculpting for nearly 2 hours. Today I'm just going to be 1 hour. I hope. Um, I guess I don't know. I think I've been more than an hour. Let me verify that. I'm not sure. I don't know. Half an hour. Half an hour. But this detail from the back, I know I can smooth them because um, they're not going to be visible, so there is not a problem with that. But also because if I am going to texture this later, I don't want this detail to be used. But surely I'm going to fill most of this structure later. Trying to figure out the whole position of the building because the drawing is piece, the engraving. It's not telling me much on the left side because there is a uh, part that is blocking my view. I could assume that is as, as the right side. Just block it like this. So when I'm going to be here, I need to feel the view for the camera and the characters. Also, I would like to replicate that shot. So I also need to feel that space. One of the things that I excuse me, that I learned in in Sculpt January is the use of references. Um, you could draw your own references, and it's not bad. I like that idea to draw your own concept from scratch, but is also um, quite good use of people references because we might use work from other people later um, in a in professional or commissioned piece. You want to keep that in mind, and also because if you are also creating the the drawing, the piece, the reference, that would takes a lot of time too. I think I did that um, for one of the pieces. I can't recall which one right now, but it took the whole day um, drawing and then sculpting. I think it was one of the helmets that I did. So this fills this part, but because of the perspective, there is a lot of area that might reach even here. There is kind of a depression there, like a road. Something that reaches over here. Yeah. I think I'm gonna use this area. Then I just fill this. I don't want to increase too much the size of the brush. Just want to keep this um, this size, not too big. Medium has a lot of stencils, pieces, stamps. That's the word. Stamps. They have a lot of stamps, and they are quite useful. Sometimes I forgot they exist. I mean, I could use it right now to add some stones. Maybe when I increase the resolution. Some other times I don't like to use them at all. I mean, if I am learning how to sculpt, because I think that I'm still learning, um, I like to think that I shouldn't use stamps. I feel like it's cheating a bit. I also feel weird sometimes using references from other people because it's not entirely my piece, but my interpretation of that. I'm not that mad with using the reference from Gustave Doré. I mean, I always liked Gustave Doré, but from Sculpt January, sometimes looking for pieces from people that I it was the first time that I see them. That's kind of weird, at least for me. So when I finished the piece, I think I did one called from a very skilled girl. The piece is called Rembrandt Joth Sagoth for um, uh, for a piece related to Cthulhu. Yeah, it has tentacles and an outfit uh, similar to Rembrandt. And it's quite cool. I mean, it's totally her piece. My version is just an interpretation. It's not fully mine. It's not fully hers. But I think it's more hers than mine. So even if I like the piece, I still think that it's weird to use someone else's reference. But again, I love Lore. Now that cave should be dark. This should be a big block. So I don't mind this time using the big. I'm going to do is to cut a hole in it. I don't want to go too far from the size. Yeah. There was one of the days from Sculpt January was called Cave. Um, I didn't like the final result of that cave. I'm thinking that this looks better, and it's way simpler. That cave I did was inside And for me, it has a lot of detail, and it had a hole in the back, and the light entered the cave, and the light spread through the cave, and some rocks were wet, and I think it was way too complicated for what I wanted. I think this looks better, way better. I use it actually from that sculpt generator cave, a real image from a cave. I was trying to emulate the textures and colors and everything, and but for me it was oversaturated. Should have kept it simple. Now here there seem to be some holes inside the structure, like this. I need to fix that. Now here is part of those holes. But I have to go inside and fix them using the inflate tool. Okay, so here there is a hole in the inner space. Um, has to be fixed because later when I am texturing this piece, meaning that I have to UV unwrap it, this invisible inner hole will be spread into the texture and will be using space that I don't want it to be using, because these holes will have a rocky texture or stone, dust, whatever, but it's invisible, so it's a waste of resources. So with the inflate tool, not too big, because you can harm parts of the um, current sculpture. Go there by these chunks and wipe them out, all of them. Some are holes, some others are not. Just the way you're looking at it changes when it's inside. So when you remove those holes, the area of the object reduces, and the whole mesh is it's saved faster. Also meaning that is lower poly count overall. There's also a lot of mountains there. I don't know if create them apart, maybe another layer. Yeah, upper layer. But for this close up, I need to do this. The thing with me when I'm sculpting is that when I do these things, it may seem a bit messy, and it is, and it's because maybe I'm working with my uh, 2D drawing style. So I bet inside of this part there are a lot of bubbles that I'm gonna have to fix. So yeah, there's a lot of bubbles in here because of my messy way of work. And all these little pieces, if I don't remove them, will be added to the final texturing. I don't want that. Well, as I mentioned, um, two very good reasons. Um, Unused texture on a hidden space, and the other one is because of the file size. I'm using space not being seen into the 3D mesh that I am loading probably through web or in an application, and that costs time. And I'm thinking about time because some of these sculpts I've created, I uploaded to, for example, Sketchfab, and you don't want to keep your user waiting for the sculpture to load. And if there are duplicate spaces inside, that takes more time. Of course, it's not a lot, but I don't want to be messy with it, especially with the texture. That's the most important. So let's take a look at the um, stamps. Let's increase the resolution. These are rocks. Oop, rocks. So nice. This one too. I like this one. Let's see, this is kind of pores rock. There's a certain volcanic rocks that have pores. I like this one. This is more like already worked piece. This one's the most I like. Looks more like the one on front. Let's use the single stem. This. What I do is you face it one way, and if you want to add another rock that looks a bit different, you just rotate it, and it should look different from your perspective. We have three different rocks from the same rock. So if I want another, select this one. And another here. There's a huge one in here. Just trying to copy paste the way it looks. There is a bigger rounder there. How about this? It's not that big. And too smaller. Uh, there is a huge rocky area over here. This looks nice. I have to place it a nice way. Or is a flat area? Because I could just do like this. The thing is, the pattern is that I don't like to repeat that much. If you merge the rocks, the other rocks, or the same rock, it creates a third rock. I wouldn't say that totally unnoticeable, but I would say that better. Let me try this, but in reverse. And it looks nice, just it's not similar to this part. By the way, the the text is on top of the door. There is a mark on top of the cave. I could use this to add it later. I have to later be careful not to light too much the inside of the cave. I just wanted it to be slightly visible. Let's see this angle, and the inside's pretty much dark. What I'm noticing also is that I am viewing this side over here, and I don't like it. So let's fix this a bit. So what I have to be careful right now is to feel the field of view for the camera when the animation is being rendered. So there are no visible holes. holes in the base structure because you don't want it to see the mountain suddenly disappear when you feel that there should be a lot more. Like right now, I'm feeling that should feel all this. Mostly because of the perspective, because there is a bit of space here I wanted to feel. I could totally just feel the closest of my perspective, and I know that works better than feel space over here. The closer to the camera, um, the object blocks or heights more area on the back. I don't want it to apply the smooth tool on top of the rocks because they look really good. I could add a lot of detail, but I know that later I can add detail with Substance Painter, add some normal maps, grains and details, stone, dust. But there are huge marks that, of course, I wanted to this. There's another one over here. And a huge one over here. But you have to have in mind size. Maybe I should add more here. This side is a bit different from the other side. This side I can block this part adding here, but this one is almost an open field, so I need by force. I'm forced to add area farther away from the field of view, the point of view, and that of course takes time. So I think I am over 1 hour. Should stop. There's no rush in finishing this today. Because I also wanted to add the text here. And it seems like a lot of smaller rocks and details and whatnot. So I'm finishing. I'm about to end this for today. And look at that, look at the Waterway Mountains. They look amazing. There's a lot of detail in there. So tomorrow, couple more layers, and to add those mountains. And this layer I will add more detail in it and add texture and probably not much after that, and continue with Dante, or probably um, creating Virgil, his face. Ah, look, this is the one that has his head cover. I like that. I thought I like that. So I think this is the end of the stream. If you guys enjoy it, see you later.